Hello there my fellow sim racers, and today's video is all about why I love Assetto Corsa, why I love tin tops, and why I love the modding community. So come and join me out on track as I jump into Fuso's latest Assetto Corsa tin top mod. So here we are, sat at the back of an ever-expanding 2024 TCR grid for Assetto Corsa. Now all of these fantastic tin tops are by Fuso, a well-known and well-respected modder that I've covered over the years that I've been doing sim racing and sim racing content. Now this little group of cars first started out with his version of the Cupra Leon, which always has been and always will be one of my most favourite tin tops for AC. I did a video review of an early version a while ago. I'll put a link to that in the description. And that was it. It was just like a single mate championship, and I was as happy as Larry driving that little car. Then he recently added the Hyundai Elantra, as you can see in front of us now, which I also made a video about. And guess what? Surprise, surprise, I'll stick a link in the video description about it. Now, what he did do is very recently give access to a preview version of his latest tin top, which of course is this Audi TCR that we're racing today. But not only that, he's issued a new update to both the Cupra and the Hyundai, so they're now sitting at versions 1.1, with this Audi in its preview state at 0.9. Now I urge anybody who is into tin tops in any way, shape or form to go and visit his Patreon page and check out his work, because these tin tops are absolutely amazing. Now, as good as this Audi looks, as great as it is to drive, you can tell that it's a preview version. Oh dear. The first thing that hits you are the sounds. He's got the backfires, the pops and the bits and pieces, but it just sounds a little flat, a little processed, which isn't up to his usual standard. So I'm assuming that the final pass, the final tweak before the full release comes out, he'll be taking a look at the sounds. And the second thing that I did notice, compared with the other two, is that the rear end has a tendency to snap. Now, this is probably a setup issue, but Fuso normally has some pretty good default setups when he releases his content. So I'm going to assume that that's going to be edited out with the final release. It's not that it's unrealistic and it's not right, because these things are front wheel drive, the engine is up at the front, so under braking all the weight gets transferred over the front. So you want a lively rear end, you want a rear end that skips about. Because what that does do is it helps rotate the car, so you can pitch it in and get some extra rotation in, because you know these things inherently understeer. But rather than being a progressive slide, it has a tendency to want to snap. Now this could be a feature of the Audi compared with the Hyundai or Cupra, but from driving this car in other sim titles, I've not noticed such a big difference with the Audi compared with the other cars, so hopefully he can change the rear end snap to a more progressive, you know, doesn't want to be too predictable, but it just needs to be a bit more skippy than snappy, if you get my drift. But it's still got the core physics there. We've still got the, you know, the understeer. If you come on the power too early, the front wheel drive, it will drag the car out wide. So you've got that classic bit of understeer there. You know, these modern TCR cars with their, you know, trick gearboxes and diffs, they don't have that torque steer. Is not so evident as it was in earlier generations of touring cars. But if you are heavy-footed, if you are somewhat brutal with the throttle and brake inputs, oh dear, wrong corner, you will find that you can induce quite a large chunk of torque steer. So even in this preview build that you know, isn't finished, the core fundamentals of how a tin top drives are all there. You've got the fun elements. You can just feel some of the little rough edges. You can just see the areas which Fuso has got room to work on. But that's the point of a preview build. Is that you're seeing it in its development stage, in its raw state. And that's what makes it exciting. Now, not only are all the cars on the grid by Fuso, but we're even racing on one of his modded tracks. And this one is a bit of a passion project for him. It's a local track to him. It's the Slovakia Ring. And again, this has just seen another major update and overhaul with the 2024 circuits layouts. It's got all kinds of different options. It's got short tracks, long tracks. It's even got a hill climb version, because it just shows you how versatile Assetto Corsa is. How many different disciplines of racing can now be experienced with Assetto Corsa after the modern community have gotten a hold of it. And Fuso has updated his track. But this, I've raced an earlier version of it, but I knew nothing about this track. Now, I don't think I'd want to drive a hypercar around it. But for these kind of tin tops, GT3s and things like that, this is a fantastic little car. It's got some high speed stuff where you really have to hold on, and it's coupled with a slow section there, and it's tight and twisty, it's technical, it's very demanding. And I really like the feel of it, the flow of it. And he's done a fantastic job. It's such a faithful recreation that you'd be hard pressed to tell this from any of the official content that Kunos released. Really is absolutely spot on. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, I give him a little bit of a nudge. I did tweak the aggression slightly just to have a little bit more fun. But isn't it amazing? The passion, the enthusiasm, the desire of the modding community to want to create things like this, you know? Now, most of these bits and pieces can be found for free on various websites. I think Overtake hosts a lot of Fuso stuff. At the moment, his TCR content is being featured on Low Fuel Motorsport in their official ranked races. I'll leave a link to their website and their service. Low Fuel Motorsport provide a fantastic ranked and organised online racing system, so it's well worth checking out, and you can download all the cars from there. Now, I belong to Fuso's Patreon page, so you know I tip him a little nod each month because that's how much I enjoy his work. So I'll leave a link to that as well. But you know, what a title AC is. It's 2024. Now I'm running the latest version of Custom Shaders patch. I'm running the latest version of Pure, along with Content Manager. And you know, I know we've got Assetto Corsa Evo coming, but this title can still hold its own thanks to the modding community, with the way it looks, feels, handles, sounds, and the depth and breadth of content we've got to race. If you're a tin top lover, go and check out these cars. They're absolutely fantastic. And in the case of this Audi, as good as it is now, it can only get better. And I can't wait to see what that final release is going to be like, that final bit of spit and polish is going to bring. And fingers crossed that he won't stop at just these three. He's made no commitment. He hasn't said, you know, that his intention is to bring the whole grid. I think it's as and when time and opportunity presents itself. But please, Fuso, I'm here. I'm ready and waiting. If you get the time, you get the opportunity, go for it. There we go. All done. That's my look at Assetto Corsa, Fuso's modded content, and I just love it. This is why I love sim racing. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. I don't need to say the word. In the meantime, happy sim racing. I'll see you out on track, and don't forget, all the download links, all the video links will all be in the description, or hopefully coming up on my right now. Bye bye.